It's an insult. It's an insult to everyone, to be honest. And to have a comedian present it as well is a cherry on the cake. It's icing on the cake. It's ridiculous. And,
well, on my show Saturday, comedians actually are used to take you off balance because a comedian is like that. When you go into a comedy show, you're less likely to be judgmental. So having a comedian from a psyops point of view would be brilliant.
Yeah, he wasn't very good, though.
No, he was a horrible comedian from what I saw. I mean, you think he put his best...
Yeah, he wasn't able to do it. Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of clips. I watched this show like 5 times, dude, and trying to see all these things. One of the things that I caught, let's see if I can find it here real quick. Oh no, I can't find it. Anyway, there was a point at which Charlie was walking off, and you were sitting on a little pier-like thing.
Yeah.
And he's walking off, and he walks off saying, "I'm going to break you." Now, Charlie,
no. He says, "Don't let them break you."
Don't let them break you. Okay.
Yeah, as if I was fighting a battle or something.
Okay, so you were still on the same team at that point because you turned around. At least they sold it to the camera that you were going. Well, he's sort of back and forth.
Yeah. By that time, that was what he was doing. He was changing his mind every day, and he was coming up with rationale like 9/11 was an inside job because it was people doing it to other people, and that's a ridiculous rationale. You can't say it was an inside job because people did it to other people. That's just stupid. And I've got nothing against Charlie. You know what I mean? He's all right. But his argument for it not being an inside job was non-existent.
Well, let me ask you a question because something just came up that's on the internet now that is regarding Charlie. I don't know if you've even seen this as yet. Maybe I'm the first one to tell you about it. In which case, this is a first, folks, because apparently Charlie was at the 9/11 10th anniversary, and well, I have video here. Actually, would you like to hear it?
I was there for that. Yeah.
Did you hear what Charlie did?
What did he do?
Okay, well, let me be the first then to introduce you to this. You can go see it, by the way, on YouTube. One of them, there are people who are giving commentaries, but I like raw footage. So, Nikachev, or look up Charlie Veach, Listen Bitch, 9/11/2011. Let me play it for you, and I want to get your take on this. Okay, this is the first time, guys. So Rodney's going to give us a take right here on the show after we listen to this little bit. Hopefully, it plays.
On those stairs and made a profit. So what do they know? A week before the event. Ladies and gentlemen, now let the time give us. Lucy knows one thing for all the victims. Conspiracy theories. Well, very much it. We're going on YouTube. Megalodon is flying at 600 miles an hour. Nobody can fly it.
That's just a bit of it. You can see it on YouTube just by looking it up. But what is your take on that? I mean, Charlie's out there, and instead of doing what he used to do, which is the 9/11s and inside job stuff, and I'm not trying to create more controversy, by the way. What I want to do is just get your take, knowing what you know about Charlie. He was cursing out this woman who was there doing 9/11. She's doing the 9/11 truther thing, which he used to do. And now he's saying, don't believe this conspiracy BS, whatever.
Yeah.
And calls her a bitch. What's your take on that?
I think he's a bit confused at the moment. I think he's in between two worlds. Because he's still very much part of the conspiracy camp, but at the same time he looks like he wants to go mainstream. And because he's because everybody knows 9/11 was an inside job. I mean, the people that we talk to in America, the regular people, which is a lot of the time, everyone knows the government's hiding something. And everyone that we interviewed had doubt in their mind over whether the government was lying over 9/11 or not. And all of that was cut out. But that happened. You can ask the other guys that participated. And hopefully if we get the footage, or somehow we'll be able to show that. But with Charlie Veach, I think he went against the conspiracy world. and he's part of the conspiracy world at the same time. So I think he's miscalculated. And now people are coming to him with the truth, and he doesn't know how to react. So he's becoming angry, and he can't take it. Because the truth hurts, isn't it?
Well, have you seen him as Damien Rockefeller character that he does with his?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, if I never knew about him before, but I mean, he's alright. I've got nothing against him. But if I saw him doing that stuff and doing the conspiracy stuff, I would be very, very skeptical of his intentions.
By the way, I think you're walking around this very well. I think you're a very intelligent person. I was impressed with you on the team because I watched your mind work.
Yeah.
I watched you think, but you didn't really, you weren't overreactive. You weren't like, here's what I think. You were more down to the facts and trying to understand the factual realities of things. Was there any point at which you felt emotionally like they were really, did they ever touch you emotionally?
I mean, the whole thing is sad. I mean, you're sad from the beginning. Every day you're thinking about the death of 3,000 people. You know what I mean? That's constantly on your mind, and that's what you're always talking about for eight days straight. So you're always sad. There's always a level of sadness within you for that time. And, but, obviously when I met Alice Hogan, I was very sad, and we also met someone else who'd lost someone, and death is always sad, And when someone loses a family member, it's always sad. So yeah, it was sad, but, when you're looking at 9/11, you have to look at it like it's a crime scene, and look at the facts, and look at the evidence, and not be too drawn into the emotion of the situation, and look at and be blinded by the emotion. That's not really a good thing. You need to look at what the facts are and the evidence that's out there, and then make a decision.
Being rational is so important. Did you feel like Charlie was being? Well, who in the group is most rational, other than yourself?
Most rational. Everyone's quite rational, but on the show, it's a BBC show. It's going to be televised nationwide and on the internet. People act strangely. They don't act how they would normally act. Sometimes rationale goes out the window.
That's true, because you become an actor on a stage suddenly instead of you see all these cameras around. You're not going to react as you would.
Yeah.
In a normal way, and we watch this stuff and we call it in I don't know how they have reality TV in Britain and in the UK, but here we got this thing called reality TV, which is as far from reality as you could imagine.
Yeah.
I actually got to know some reality stars back years ago who are really became really good friends on the internet, and it was amazing to go through. They were still going through a filming in the process as I got to know this person, and going through that with them, seeing what was really happening. What I realized was the end result was a manufacture of reality. It wasn't truly what we were seeing. It was so edited. It was so. I mean, when you got like 8 days worth of raw footage to go through, or whatever amount of time, you can put things together. Do you feel at any point that how close was this to the reality that you experienced?
It was completely false. It was a false reality. I mean, that's why it's interesting to me now to see who was taken in by it and who wasn't. I mean, a lot of people watched it and thought, what the hell did I just watch? And that should be your reaction, because it was so badly edited. A lot of that stuff didn't even happen. So, there'll be even points where you hear people laughing and their mouths are not moving. It's that bad. It's complete false reality. If they had documented what happened out there, it would have been a good documentary. But they didn't. They just cut it and spliced it into something that it wasn't.
Well, the thing that people don't realize, too, is they'll splice together, like you say, different video to different audio, which gives a whole new impression, and they can make you say things. They can put things in your mouth.
Yeah.
Literally. I think they did. As part of the test in there, they did, didn't they?
Yeah,
they actually did a...
And the reason they can do that is because when you sign the contract, they bring you to New York and they give you a contract, and there's a clause in there, and that says you waiver what is called your moral rights. So you lose all your moral rights. And
that's sweet.
Yeah. So this is why they can cull it in whichever way. You can't sue for defamation of character or anything like that in court, because you've waived your moral rights in the clause.
And of course, what they tried to do I noticed that what they did to you in the show when they cut it together, because I'm looking at the final cut, of course, I wasn't there for the experience. But when they cut the thing together, I noticed that they took you, who was very thoughtful, very intelligently laying things out, and they had to cut you down. So what do? They hone in on when the comedy act is going on, this horrible comedy act for which you were probably better leaving the room talk to your mom. And going out and talking to your mom, like, that's important to this whole thing. No, do you know what that's
exactly.
about,
That has nothing to do with anything.
Do you know what that
Why
was to do? I mean, tell us what that was to do to you.
That's got nothing to do with anything. But the point is, you look at this guy. He doesn't even listen to his mum, or he doesn't even he has family troubles, or God knows what. You know, why are you going to listen to this guy?
It's psychological programming. They are psychologically programming the viewer to see you as being either one of two things: either you're a mama's boy, in which case you're a pussy, right? That's one thing they would do, or you aren't. You're being rebellious, so you're in that rebellious period. So of course, here's why. See, they're selling this idea to people so that it's subconsciously planted. It's not a conscious plan.
No, it's not.
I mean, it is for them. It's not for you when you're going through this, because you don't even know what they're going to use. They can use anything, right? They can almost use you going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Almost.
They probably could.
They probably could. Well, your moral rights are gone, so if you did any... Man, you're dead. Hey, let's hang our butts out the bus window, guys. We can... Was there any of that kind of stuff that went on? Any crazy stuff behind the scenes that you thought was funny or interesting or something that hasn't been talked about?
Yeah, we had some good conversations off camera after filming. You know, we would have a few drinks and chill out and chat. And we had some interesting conversations, but mostly we'd have our, meeting and, what happened today and how they're going to cut it. And because we were told absolutely nothing. We weren't told what the vision was for the show. We weren't told who we were going to meet. We weren't told where we were going to stay. At one point, we weren't even told when we were going to leave. And we've just met these guys over the internet. I mean, I clicked the like button on Facebook, and next thing I'm emailing, next thing I send a photo in, then they come to my house, film me, and then I'm on a plane. It's a very quick process, and it's very simple. You know?
You've been indoctrinated into our cult. Come on down.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't even know these people, and they're an independent production company. They're not the BBC, and they like to point that out.
Well, that's why, by the way, that's one of the reasons I don't think that this was. It's so unprofessional for anybody like me who looks to this type of thing. It's so obvious that they're just trying to mold you to their way of thinking and trying to sell it. But it's not done in like a CIA or any kind of government kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but a show like this is aimed at the kids. I mean, as simple as that. It's aimed at the kids. It's to get the new generation to believe in the government side and not to question the government. That's what it is, I think. Because BBC Three is aimed towards the youth.
Yeah.
It's a youth channel. Yeah. So
has any of this money tracked down to any government money? Was any government money involved in this other than just BBC money?
No, it's BBC money. This is the people's money. The people fund the BBC. So this is the people's money that's being spent.
So they're spending your tax money to make this.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So
yeah, and a lot
right
of money
after
as well.
Robo Nerds and Booger Balls, you can see that. Yeah, okay.
And they're spending a hell of a lot of money on this as well. I mean, money was pretty much no object out there. As far as people.
Well, I was on. Well, except they could have gotten a bigger plane, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point in sending her on a plane? They could have done so many better experiments, so many more better experiments with that money. They could.
How many did they do? 5 or 6? I think they did 5 or 6, right? Did you have like each one of you brought in a pet thing, I think, didn't you, or something like that? So really, they were just covering your thermite, and let's look at some of what the other people were doing. Who was it? Emily had the security issues, and Charlie was about the demolition, and you were thermite, or you were controlled demolition. So basically, you all kind of had your own little pet thing. So what did you fill out prior to this? Did they give you like a questionnaire? Because I would think that I would want to know you from the inside out, even your psychology.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they do a screen test? How did they go about this?
You do the screen test, and that's basically they come to your house and film you in your house and see how you look on camera. And then they made us fill out an so-called anonymous questionnaire. And it's like, do you believe in 9/11 was an inside job? Do you believe Bush was involved? Do you believe in certain questions about 9/11 and conspiracy theories in general? And and then you get a call from the psychologist Raj Persaud, who wants to have a word with you.
So we get wait a minute, we got a psychologist calling you up?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Oh, that's a big one.
He's quite famous over here. He's a celebrity psychologist, but he was he got in
trouble. Sort of like Dr. Phil over here or something?
Yeah, exactly. But he got struck off for plagiarism at some point, so he's not that well liked. And he basically has a chat with you, and he's asking questions about the questionnaire. And there's a question on it that says, do you think that 9/11 was an inside job? And I said no.